Hello, everyone. Welcome to our postgraduate blended learning virtual open day for the Berlin campus. My name is Alexis. I'm an outreach and recruitment officer based in London, and I'm joined today by the wonderful Dana, all the way in Berlin.
Hello, everyone.
Dana, do you want to start by telling everyone a little bit about yourself and what sort of things you do here at Arden?
Of course. So I'm Dana, and I am here a lecturer in Berlin. So I teach postgraduate students topics on marketing. So yeah, and I'm happy to help you today or answer your questions. And maybe we will see you one day here in our campus. Yeah,
Exactly.
welcome, everyone.
So yeah, before I start, I just want to let everyone know that this session can be really informative. It's going to be really good for any questions that you might have in regards to studying here at Arden University, especially in our Berlin campus. But if you do have any questions, there's a conveniently placed chat box on your screen. So yeah, just type out any questions, and once we get to the question section of the presentation, we'll be able to go through them all then. But yes, in the meantime, it would be great to find out where everyone's tuning in from today. So if you could just let me know which cities everyone's in, then we can sort of go through that while we wait for a few more people to show up. I'm quite excited to see how far reaching this session is going to be today.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, what's the weather like in Berlin at the moment, Dana?
it's super raining. So it's been raining since the morning. The
Yeah.
winter is coming, so it's
Hmm.
getting a little bit colder now. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think
Excellent.
that's
Excellent.
I don't think it's worse than London.
It can never be worse than London. I was going to say that
Exactly.
sounds quite nice.
Exactly. It can never be worse than London. So yeah.
Excellent. So we've got a couple people here from London. As expected, there's a few people from Berlin here as well. We've
Nice.
got somebody from India joining us today too. So looks like we're spanning continents today. Um, but
Cool.
yeah, let's just crack on then. So
Yeah.
just to give you a brief outline. Um, what we're going to be covering today is what exactly blended learning is for those of you who are unaware,
Hmm.
why postgraduate study might be valuable for you. Then we're going to talk through the application process, the finance side of things, and then of course we're going to go into student support as well, so you guys know in what ways our university can support you through your studies. But yeah, just to kick things off, the Berlin campus. So as some of you may know, we are a university that is spread out across the world. We've got campuses all over London, and we also have them, oh, well, and the rest of the UK even, and we also have our Berlin campus as well. Now, the Berlin campus is pretty centrally located. The facilities are everything that you would need in order for yourselves to complete your studies. And the German Study Center offers the opportunity to study in Berlin in English for all of the programs that we have available at the moment, which I understand is not a common sort of feature amongst universities and higher education establishments in Germany.
Mhm.
But yeah, Dana, why don't you kick this off then? Could you tell us, what is blended learning exactly?
Of course, of course. So basically, blended learning is an experience where the students can get the best of both. So you are doing some parts of your studies online and some parts of your studies on campus. And that's why, for example, during COVID, Arden University did not get, any issues with the students. We have easily shifted online, for example. So students will have complete lessons online. We use a platform called iLearn, and then all the content are available there, online libraries to all kind of books you need for your studies, access to academic journals, and then there are online forums as well, so you could still complete the activities or have like a discussion the sessions with your colleagues online as well. What else? And then we have the face-to-face or on-campus part where students just come to the university and have their regular classes with teachers and then with their fellow students as well. So yeah, so this is basically blended learning. So there is some online aspect, like some activities, resources that you have access to online on this platform. So each student gets an account for iLearn, and then they get the access for everything. We have also like supporting modules, things that you won't be learning in class, like in relation to academic skills, researching and writing skills, things like that. So that's blended learning basically. So a mixture of both. So you have your regular classes and you have access to our great portal on iLearn. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Now, I know you mentioned COVID-19 a moment ago in regards to how we were able to adjust during these sort of difficult times. But could you tell us a little bit more about the things that we've done on campus to prepare and protect our students, during the pandemic?
Of course. So what we have, unfortunately, we had to reduce the classes capacity just to enable us to keep the social distancing and all other sorts of regulations and things like that. Students, they attend classes on a ticket based system, so they book a ticket, and then because each classroom, based of course on the size of that group, like we have like 20 students or 15 students, so depending on that, so we reduce the classroom's capacities to 50%, and we have available tickets for that. So students who would like to attend the class, then they book a ticket, and then we let them in the morning or in the afternoon. They have their classes schedules, and this way they could study in the class while the Zoom session is also running live. So they have the other student fellows online as well. So we combined them both, and then they could, of course, the classrooms are also set with cameras and microphones and things like that. So you can hear your friends there talking or discussing. You have the group discussions. Sometimes if students feel like to do that, they turn on their cameras and you can see them. We talk to each other. We run the classes like that. So we have just tried this now for the study block, and it went really well. So yeah, so this is regarding classrooms. And then of course we have the online sessions recorded as well. So if you, for whatever reason, you missed the class, of course we keep in mind, for example, parents who are studying and at some point their kids were not in school, so they were not able to attend the classes. So we took all these things into consideration. So the Zoom sessions are recorded as well, so you could access them later on your own time. Also, if you attended the class and you still want to recall something, so they are available as well. What else? So we have, of course, hand sanitizers installed in all the classrooms. Additional cleaning as well. Students are required to wear masks, so you will feel safe on campus. Social distancing, like posters to show you like what's the proper distance, and especially in narrow corridors, for example, or such areas. So yeah, so everybody's wearing masks. Everything is extra clean. You have sanitizers and masks available for everyone as well. So even if you forgot your mask, we got you covered. And yeah, and your studies are still going like before, so nothing got disrupted or anything.
Excellent,
Yeah.
excellent. And of course, yeah, if you do have any, if you do need any more information, we have a page dedicated to it on the website as well.
We have cool
So,
videos as well.
oh, nice, excellent. So yeah, all of the resources are available
Yeah.
on the site if you do need more information about our COVID-19 preparations and such. But Dana, again, as a sort of module leader, could you tell us why it would be a good idea to study at postgraduate? What are the sort of benefits to studying at this level?
Of course. So, of course, an extra qualification means a financial gain, right? So, also a career advancement. So, if you're looking for up for that promotion, or there's this opening for a new job, and you really want that, especially at a management level. So, usually those who have the master's degree or postgraduate level, what they could apply for is like a team leader position or a manager position, because you have those extra skills and extra knowledge for that. You have the specialist knowledge, as they say. So you gain the specialist knowledge, because what we do in a postgraduate program specifically is we discuss the issues, we look at the case studies, we so we are not just learning the basics that anymore. So we are looking in depth into these topics and modules. So that's where you start to get the you gain the specialist knowledge. You have like a critical point of view now with all the skills that you have to develop, especially later on when you have to work on your thesis, for example, so research skills and so on. Of course, improve networking possibilities because you are in class meeting other professionals. So from they work in other places maybe, or different countries. So there's this international aspect to that as well. So in general, a postgraduate degree will help you in your personal development as well, because there are many skills that you will develop while you are completing this program. When you are analyzing case studies and critically evaluating this model, or researching a certain topic and then discussing that with your fellow students, or exchanging expertise on these topics. So in a way, it will make you smarter with all these skills that you gain, especially research as well. So a postgraduate level will also help you if you are thinking of becoming a researcher, like to go for a PhD maybe later. So this is the step that you have to go through, because all these skills, research skills and analysis skills, you will gain them while you are completing the program. Yeah, so basically that's it. Yeah.
Excellent. Now, yeah, so as I'm sure a lot of you would be fully aware, we do offer a number of courses at our postgraduate level, and all of the courses that we teach at the Berlin campus are full-time courses, so they will be completed within that year time for the time being. So here we have a list of them. I could read them all out to you, but I'm sure you're able to sort of cover and see what sort of things we have available. But more importantly, I would actually like to find out how many of you actually already know which courses it is that you'd like to apply for. So I'm going to send out this little poll now. So I hope you guys can see that. Just click yes or no. Do you already know which course you'd like to apply for? It'd be great to see some of your responses and sort of hold on to that information. Yeah, obviously we will be, if you are looking for more sort of course specific information, and then we do have our website where you can take a look in more detail at, exactly what the courses entail and what sort of things you'll be learning as part of them. But yeah, it'd be great to see if some of you have already done that research. Yeah, so yeah, it looks like okay, perfect. So I can see that 90% of you do know which course it is that you're interested in, and there's a few of you who are still a little bit undecided, but that's absolutely fine. When it comes to choosing a course like this, and obviously the career progression and all of the skills you'll be learning, it is vital that you take your time and make sure that you consider all of the options and all the factors. So that's absolutely more than okay. Now, one of the great things about Arden is we work with several organizations to make sure that the skills that we're covering as part of the course are necessary and valuable in the workplace. So we work with all these different partners, essentially to make sure that the things that we cover are going to help you in your career. They're going to help you in the fields that you want to work in, and they're going to help you with your future progression. And a lot of these skills and a lot of these think tanks work very closely with us because of who we are and what we offer. Not every business course will be CMI accredited, and the work that we do with the finance sector is obviously ACCA accredited too, which means when you finish your degree or your master's program, then there are actually additional benefits to having studied specifically here with Arden as well. Of course, if you did have any questions about any of this stuff, your recruitment advisor will be able to point you in the right direction and explain in a little bit more detail which of your courses will be affected by these things too. Yeah, speaking of recruitment advisors, let's go and talk about the application process. So another poll for you guys already. I know I'm trying to keep you all on your toes, but it'd be great to find out how many of you already started your application. So just going to get that launched. I'll give that a couple seconds as well. Again, we always recommend that you complete your application as soon as possible, just to make sure that well, you're not rushing around, that you're you know, where your application is where it needs to be in time for the start of your course. And of course, there are benefits to studying or completing your course early, which I'll sort of go over a little bit later as well. But yeah, okay. So judging by that, it looks like about 2/3 of you have yet to make your application, which is absolutely fine. That's why we're here today. And for the 33% of you, I'm hoping that there'll be a couple bits of extra information in this part that will help guide you through your application process and make things a little bit easier for you. So when it comes to how to apply, there's a very big paragraph here, but essentially all you need to do is go on the website and click the Apply Now button. Then you'll select your course and of course which campus you want to study at. And from there, you'll submit a form, an application form, and that form will be sent to a recruitment advisor who's essentially an expert on all parts of Arden. And they will be able to look at your qualifications and your work experience and help make sure that we have all the information that we need to help progress your application if it's possible, essentially. But once we've collected all of your information, we've reviewed it all and we're happy with what we've got, we'll send it off to the admissions team and where they'll make their final assessments. And if everything is good, you'll be sent your offer letter with further details on your start date and other things like that as well. And again, this process it can be pretty quick. If you have all of your documents prepared and ready to go, then there's no reason why we couldn't turn around in maybe a week or two and get your answers back to you as well. You know, we don't really want to waste anybody's time unnecessarily here at Arden. So the faster that you can work with us, the faster that we can help you start this next chapter in your lives and your careers as well. Now, when it comes to entry requirements, there are a number of documents that are required for every course that we teach here at Arden. And these are things like a valid passport, a personal statement, which is a detailed explanation of why it is that you want to study this course, how it's going to help you in your future, where your interest in the subject come from, things like that. Basically to help us determine, you know, if this course is the right course for you in terms of your interest and such. Then we need things like proof of residency, the proof of the right to study. Depending on which course you're applying for, we'll need CV and references, or your proof of qualifications, or sometimes both. And then we'll also need proof of study in English. And this can be something like an IELTS exam or a qualification that you already have that was taught in English as well. There are so many different routes and pieces of documentation that we can use to help. So if you're unsure, just send it over. The recruitment advisor will be able to take a look at it, and you might be surprised at what sort of things count as you know, proof and evidence when it comes to how Arden works and how we can help you progress, essentially. Now, for those of you who are hoping to study our master's programs, you will either need an undergraduate honours degree, a second class or equivalent, and proof of study in English, or instead of the degree, we will also accept senior level work experience of 5 years or more, as long as of course you have the references that we can verify and such too. But for the MBA students, you'll need a second class degree, proof of English, and you'll also need 2 years of relevant work experience as well. Now again, work experience is a tricky thing because you know, some roles have more responsibilities than you may think you have. You know, you might do these things on a daily basis but not recognize how valuable they would be. So again, if you're uncertain, make sure you get your CV filled in. You know, try and get as many references as you can get collected, send the information over, and we will help you through the process. You know, we'll even help sometimes with sort of getting those references if you're having some issues there too. So yeah, speak to your recruitment advisor, tell them what you've got. They'll be able to help, you know, sort things out and sort of sift through the skills that you might have picked up during your work. Now, I'm going to pass this back to Dana here, but Dana, what sort of things should people consider when choosing a suitable course?
Yeah, so when you want to choose the course now, you have already decided that you want to go for a postgraduate degree. There are a few questions that you could ask yourself, and this way you can determine how useful this course will be for you. Because, for example, sometimes students, they go for a postgraduate to change fields, for example. So I've seen students, for example, as I said earlier, I teach marketing. So I've seen students in my marketing class, but they come from an engineering background or chemistry or like any field of the sciences. So they use this to have like a change in their career, and that's a tricky part. So for example, the first question here we have, is this the right level of study? So what kind of degree you had before, and what kind of skills, especially academic skills, you have that will help you, because a postgraduate degree also requires for example, dissertation at the end. So you need to write a research thesis. Do you have the skills for that? And also, why you want to go for a postgraduate degree is a very important question, because are you trying to build up on something that you already have? Like you have, for example, an undergraduate degree in marketing, and you want a higher position, for example, looking for a management position. So you want to top up that with a postgraduate degree, or you want to change your field of expertise, for example. So the why you want to do this, or why you want to start studying would help you, or why you want to go back to studying, especially if you had a job for a while now, like after your bachelor's, and you are in the practical world, like in the industry, like working on that, then going back to this to study a postgraduate degree is also an important thing that you should keep in mind, especially when you did not study anything during this time. You have to think of doing this full-time or part-time. How are you going to manage your own time to complete the the study materials on iLearn, as I said earlier, or like to study to prepare for the assignments, or the study the subject itself. Also, like one thing, if you are trying to explore a new field, like I said earlier, you have to also to keep in mind that it's going to require a little bit more work than others, because you have to familiarize yourself with the basics and the foundations, because that is something not going to happen in the class. So as I said earlier, it's where you are evaluating the basic knowledge, when you are discussing topics, you are reading case studies and so on. I'm not saying that it's impossible to do that. I've seen students really completing these degrees brilliantly when they are shifting fields. It requires you a little bit more of effort to come to the class prepared, for example, to familiarize yourself with the terminology or the models and frameworks that we have already. So yeah, so what else do we have here? Yeah, so are you interested? Basic questions. So you have to be interested in the topic and the subject in general. You want to know more about it, because interest is, at some points, it's going to be your only motivation, right? So you have to be passionate about the topic. So especially when you are studying part-time and you have a job and you have your personal life and you are trying to balance all these things, at some points you will ask yourself, why am I doing this? And the reason is because you're interested, because you want to. This will help you to to push through the hard times and complete the degree. So it's very important to choose the suitable course for you with a clear goal at the end that will keep you going forward. When you have a goal that you want, maybe to start a new career, or you want to improve in your own career, like you want that promotion, or you want that position, or you want to gain more knowledge about that topic, you're just interested. There's a research aspect included in the postgraduate degree, and the research, you have to be curious to do research, right? So you have to be interested about the topic. So when you ask yourself all these questions, then you could start to maybe eliminate some programs. So okay, I'm not interested in this or that. This program is not going to help me with whatever goal you have at the moment. I've seen people who are just studying out of interest, so they are not even working, but they're just interested, they are curious, they would like to know more about something or a topic. So based on what motivates you, based on what is the final goal that you want to achieve. All these questions could help you to determine which is the suitable course for me, and a course that I would enjoy, a course that would add to my knowledge, a course that would help me to advance my career. Yeah.
Excellent, thank you so much. So yeah, we've also got a few tips and tricks in regards to making the application process as easy as possible for all of you. For those that are currently in the middle of their application, or those who haven't quite started yet. But the first one is to provide as much detail as possible. Again, the recruitment advisors are there to help you. So the more information you can give them, the more information they have, the better they can steer you through this process and make it as easy as possible for you. Another one is just make sure that your references match your CV. You know, we send our documents off to the admissions advisors to sort of assess everything, and you know, sometimes the thing that might be holding up someone's application is just the small details, that their CV doesn't quite match up with the references that were received, so the information doesn't match up, and then we have to go back to the referee, and it can delay the whole process by sometimes weeks. So just make sure all the information is as accurate as possible. And yeah, also use the personal statement to your advantage. I know, you know, not everyone likes to write essays and things like that, but this is truly a fantastic opportunity for you to showcase why it is that you want to do this course. And I think it might be helpful for yourself to see it written down as well, you know, to see how you came to want to start on this journey, and to sort of think about how it's going to help you afterwards. So definitely sort of lean into that personal statement and use it to your advantage. Yeah. If you have any questions at all, always reach out to us. The recruitment advisor team is fantastic at responding. If you need to, you know, even if it's small things like, oh, are you sure that this document was quite right? Or maybe you found a different document that might be a little bit better for you, but you're not sure. Just get in contact. Again, the recruitment advisors are great, and they're going to do everything they can to make sure that the documents that you have are the best that showcase your skill set and what you're capable of. Yeah. And the last point is apply early. There are a lot of you here today. A lot of you haven't made your applications yet, which is absolutely fine. But after you've done your research, just make sure you hit the application button. We incentivize this here at the Berlin campus by offering an early bird discount of €3,000 against all postgraduate courses. So, you know, make sure you're doing it. Make sure you're taking advantage of the discount, and, you know, you can use that extra money to do anything essentially. So again, make sure you take advantage of it all. And before I move on to the section about fees and funding, again, I can see there's a number of questions on there. So just keep asking them. We will get through to them towards the end. But it is good to see, you know, that everyone has, you know, got questions that we can sort of help you work through. So don't be afraid to ask some questions and such. In fact, one person has asked, what is the cost for the whole course, which is fantastic because this is the next slide. So the postgraduate course fees range from 15,000 to 16,000 euros. Now, in order to secure a place in the course, you will need to pay a holding fee, and your recruitment advisor will be able to break down the cost in a little bit more detail for you. They'll be able to explain the cost per module and such, so that you have a better idea of, you know, the financial cost of this master's program. And if you do decide to enroll in a course here at Arden, you will be required to either agree to a payment plan for the payment of your course fees, or pay for the full cost up front. So if you have the money and you're ready to go, you can absolutely just pay for it then, or it can be broken down into sort of more sort of bite-sized chunks throughout the year of your study. And again, as I said before, your the details of your payment plan will be discussed with you by your recruitment advisor during your application process. So again, if you have any questions about that, reach out to your recruitment advisor after you've made your application. Dana, before I sort of go into what kind of student support we have available, just for those who might not have, you know, studied at university before, what sort of thing, like what is student support essentially?
Student support is a lovely team we have here, and they are happy to help you with anything you need, really.
Mhm.
We understand, especially for students who are coming from different countries. For our international students, you arrive here in a, new country, new place, new language as well. So we are happy to help you with everything from, any questions regarding your studies, regarding your payments, career, accommodation, how to, like to get around the city, how to do all the German bureaucracy that you have to go through when you arrive to Germany. So basically, student support are here to support you. So with your questions, with anything you need regarding your studies with Arden.
Excellent, excellent. And so, yeah, as you're saying, what sort of support is available for students?
Yeah. So we have all our students, they have access to Together All. It's like a well-being platform. So if you have any issues, or you feel like you need to talk to someone, so you will find a group of people there, maybe sharing the same problem with you, sharing maybe comforting words with you. So it's especially now during the COVID time, we know so many of our students were not feeling that well. They are away from their families and home, sick at some point, worried as well, the uncertainty of the whole situation. So we found that that was a really a nice platform available for our students. They could use that. So we have also the well-being portal. It's like a portal built in with on iLearn. So as I told you earlier, we use this platform for your studies. Also the well-being portals there, and there are some tips and like short tutorials to help you how to manage stress and how to manage your time, how to survive basically during your studies. Oh yeah, the skills modules online. This is a very important module. So it's available for our postgraduate students. So if you feel that you need an extra support or extra help with your English, especially if English is not your first language, or with your writing skills, or with researching. For example, when you receive your assignment and it's your very first assignment, you have no idea how to do that, or it's like asking you use a Harvard system and referencing, and you have no idea what's Harvard system. So all the material you need is available on the skills modules online. There's a team as well where you can book appointments, and you have workshops and attend workshops with them. They will help you with that. So this is also available for the students on iLearn. If the students, they have any kind of special needs, special learning difficulties, so we have also our SEN support as well. So of course, secretly we will deal with that. We'll help you, support you to complete your studies. So that's also for the students. ISIC, Alexis, I have no idea what's that. So you could,
Excellent. I'll take over
yeah,
here.
the
So,
card.
so the ISIC card is essentially a student discount card, which you can apply
Mm,
for once you start your studies. And essentially, the support here is purely financial.
yeah,
Obviously, all across Europe, there are places where you can get student discounts on food, on clothes, on equipment. And having a card like this will essentially entitle you to thousands of discounts wherever you are. So, yeah, that's part of essentially being
yeah,
a student here,
brilliant.
and you will have access to that as well. So yeah, carry on,
Brilliant.
Megan.
Thank you for that. And we have also careers and accommodation advisor. So we have two dedicated people here on campus on our team, Torsten and Dina, and they will gonna help you with your career, basically help you how to find a job in Germany, give you some tips, and on your CVs, on your applications. And Torsten is gonna help you to find an accommodation, or if you have any problems, he could help you to sort these things out. And growing student support. So we are also growing, and we know that new members are joining the team. So we'll have a lovely big team to help you, support you during your studies.
Excellent, excellent. So yeah, a lot of you might be asking, what makes Arden University different? And one of the main things is that we sort of have a more intimate cohort, and what that means is you can get more personalized support. Obviously, with larger establishments where you might have, tens of thousands of students, it can be quite difficult to pay specific attention to the individuals that might need more help. So, we work very hard and very closely with the student support team to make sure that everybody has everything they need while studying with us. The smaller cohort means that the people that you'll be working with to support you through your time here at Arden will be people you recognize. There'll be people you see every day. Maybe not so much now with COVID and such, but you'll be interacting with your lecturer throughout your course. You've got the student support team as well, who throughout that year you'll become quite closely acquainted to. Again, as Dana was saying at the beginning, we've got online and in-person support. So no matter where you are, if you do need some assistance for any sort of academic reason, then we'll be able to reach out to you, or you'll be able to reach out to us even, and then we'll be able to provide assistance where possible. We have our regular academic support sessions. So at a postgraduate level, I know we have a weekly session to help students there. And then also, as Dana mentioned, we have our online modules as well for study skills. So if you just want to brush up on any of the skills that you might have maybe not used in a while, or skills that you're not quite familiar with, all of that information is available on our iLearn platform. And then, of course, we have our wellbeing activities as well. So I know across many of the campuses we do, smaller activities just to make sure that our students are doing okay, that they're getting the most from their experience, and that they're still enjoying themselves. We, a master's program and even a degree, they're very big things, and they can be quite stressful at times. So we just want to make sure that all of our students are, being looked after, and that they are in a position to want to continue and want to continue to improve themselves.
May I add one more? Sorry, Alex. May I add one more thing to the to our regular academic support sessions? So for postgraduate students, they have these weekly workshops on their first. So when they do their first module, there is a supporting module. So there's 5 workshops that will help the students on their research skills and how to basically pick up a research topic for their dissertation. So this is something that you will have at the beginning of your studies. So it's and then while you are progressing, you're completing the other modules, you'll have an idea how to basically pick a topic, what interests you, and then how can you design that in a research project that you can complete your master thesis or your dissertation based on. So those are also very important sessions. Sometimes students think that because they are not part of the credits that they can skip, but I will recommend you guys to attend these sessions. They're going to be very, very helpful for you to complete your research project.
Excellent, excellent. Great. So the next intakes, for those of you who are looking to study, there's one sort of coming up very soon. Then we have our February and April intakes as well. So again, depending on if you want to start now or in the new year, start thinking about getting those documents together. Start thinking about reaching out to Arden so that we can help you through that process. Again, because the sooner you get everything sorted, the easier everything will be for yourself to transition into your new studies, and to make sure that you're not stressing and rushing around essentially as the deadlines get closer and closer. Now, I just want to go over some other things as well before we sort of go on to the questions. But I know Dana's been very informative today, and we've covered quite a lot of information. But maybe there are some questions that you might have for other students. And what we have is our UniBuddy sort of platform, which you can find on our website. And essentially, this will allow you to contact other students who will be studying similar courses to yourself. And they will, be able to maybe answer some of the other questions that only a student might be able to answer, as well as some general information about their experiences and what sort of things they went through during their application as well. So definitely reach out to some other students to see what their thoughts are too, if you have the chance. We also have a refer a friend scheme. So you might be thinking that this is a course for you. I know a lot of you have already made your applications, but if you also think this might be a good opportunity for somebody that I know, then let them know. If you refer a friend, then essentially you will both be entitled to a voucher or a reduction of your course fees. Now, I've got this in pounds here, but I'm not exactly sure how much that would be in euros or what the Berlin specific values would be. But yeah, make sure you take advantage. Again, it's an opportunity to make sure that you can study alongside somebody that you care about, but also there's a financial incentive there too, which I'm sure a lot of you will appreciate. And lastly, a lot of you, I imagine, will be coming back to us after taking a break in their studies. So we would love to find out why it is that you decided to come back and why now was the time for you. So we're actually running an incentive, our Don't Press Pause sort of competition, with a chance to win £100 worth of Amazon vouchers. And essentially, we want to hear about your educational journey. We want to find out how you ended up at this point, ready to go into your studies and progress yourselves even further. So this competition will be closing on the 18th of October at 5 p.m. So, you know, tell us what it is that you want to, why it is that you wanted to start your studies, and, you know, we might even be able to reward you for it.
Nice.
So yeah, just make sure you're using the hashtags and you're tagging Arden University across any of the social media platforms that we are on, which is all of them. So that about concludes things. So now's a good time to sort of go through some questions. Dana, I've got one here for you.
Yeah.
Is German language important for the course?
No, for the course, you don't need to know any German. All the courses are taught completely in English. The material is available in English. Your library resources are available in English, but you need a little bit of German to get around the city. And actually learning a new language could be an extra plus on your CV besides your degree. Yeah.
Excellent. And actually, as part of our offering at Berlin, we do offer German language lessons as well that you can take part in. So
Yeah.
if you are concerned about your German, then yeah, we've got the facilities and the resources there for you as well. Somebody else asked, is there accommodation on campus? We don't have accommodation on campus. You will need to arrange your own accommodation whilst you're studying at the Berlin campus. But the student support team will also be able to support you. We have our accommodation advice team that will be able to guide you through the German landlord system and make sure that you're in a secure position during your studies as well. Somebody else has asked, when will the registrations open for the master's program? They're always open. If you wanted to start studying this year or even later next year, you can make an application now. You can get it out of the way, and we can get your offer to you weeks or even months before you start your studies. And also, there's that early bird discount that I mentioned earlier. So if you know that you want to start studying, but you might want to study next year, or maybe you haven't quite decided which intake you'd like to study for yet, make an application anyway. The recruitment advisor, again, will be able to help adjust your application if you do decide to change your mind, or if you want to switch to a different intake. Again, so yeah, that's the answer to that question. Let's see what else we've got here. Quite a few questions here. Is there visa support for international students? So in terms of visa support, obviously to apply for a visa, you need to explain where it is that you're going to be during that time, what you're going to be doing. So we do have a team that sort of helps and advises on these matters here at the Berlin campus. So there is some support. Obviously, in regards to the nature of that support, you will probably need to speak to a recruitment advisor, because I know there are so many different issues with visa applications and things like that. So definitely, again, speak to your recruitment advisor, make that application, and we'll be able to answer any questions about, you know, your visas or you know, staying in Germany while you're here as well.
May I add something to that as well?
Yes, of course.
So regarding the visa, so all our students, when they complete their degrees and they graduate from Arden Berlin, they get this Arbeitssuche visa, or like finding a job. So if we translate literally, so they have 18 months of visa where they can find a job in Germany and just basically settle. So this is also like a plus for the students who really would like to have some working experience in Germany. So once you are done with your degree, you could apply for that visa, and it's 18 months long.
Excellent, excellent. A couple of people have asked about scholarship opportunities. At the moment, we do not offer any scholarship opportunities for any of our students. But again, if you wanted some more information about the sort of payment plan and the sort of affordability of it all, your recruitment advisor will be able to break that down for you quite nicely, I'm sure. Somebody asked, will they be able to balance the fees from whilst working? Dana, do any of your students work and also study and, you know, obviously complete the payments and stuff?
So students, they have the right to work a certain amount of hours, but according to the German laws, on the like weekly hours. I think, I'm not sure, but I think it's 20 hours or something like that. So yeah, so as a student, you can work a student job or a part-time job, so that's not a problem as long as like you're doing a student job. It depends on your payment plan, of course, like how much you earn from that job and then how much you could pay, or if you need to cover your expenses. So I cannot tell you that yes, you could do that. It depends. It's like a personal matter. It depends on your personal expenses, rent, you know, things like that. If anybody else is supporting you, like your family, or you have some savings. So yeah, some students, they do this, like they have a part-time job or a student job, and they help and they use part of what they earn in that job to pay part or maybe their fees. It depends on the plan. Like, are you how much for basically how much is your installments like when you're paying this? Yeah, but it's a possibility. It's a possibility.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we've got a couple questions about the types of documents that you can provide. So somebody's asked, what is proof of residence? So that would just be proof of where you're living and obviously your visa status as well. So those are the kind of documents you'll need. You won't need to necessarily send in the official document as long as you've got a clear scan or an officially sort of like official looking sort of photocopy, then we can accept those bits of evidence as proof of residence. Somebody's asked, can they use the fact that they studied their undergrad in English as proof of their study in English? Absolutely. If you've done a whole 3-year degree in English, then that should be enough for you to then sort of apply, well, with the English qualification anyway, for our postgrad course. But again, you will need to speak to your recruitment advisor just to make sure, and they'll look over everything for you there. Now, there are a lot of questions in here, but we do have to wrap up now. It's getting quite late. But if you have any questions or any further questions, please reach out to us, reach out to your recruitment advisor as well. And this webinar will be recorded. So we will be sending out, you know, a link so you can watch this in your own time if you missed any sections of it, or if you want to go through it again. And there is a survey at the end of this as well, which we'll use to sort of generate and sort of improve these webinar services for all of you too. So make sure you're leaving your feedback in there for us. Yeah, hopefully we'll either see you at the next webinars or when you start studying with us. But Dana, thank you so much for your help today. And
thank you, Alexis, for the opportunity. Yeah, thanks so much for the opportunity. I hope that was helpful for you, and I hope I see some of the students here on campus.
Excellent. Well, goodbye everyone, and have a great evening. Bye-bye.
Bye.